the Director of Audit, the Public Service Commissioners, members of the Public Service Board of Appeal, the Police Service Commissioners, magistrates, registrars of the High Court, deputy registrars of the High Court, registrars of land, the deputy, the head of the Civil Service, the chief personnel officer of the Civil Service, the financial secretary, the permanent secretaries of the Civil Service, ombudsman, information commissioner. I'm not quite sure if we have an information commissioner. Assistant secretaries at or above the level of grade K40, and so at K40 is a pay scale for the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and so you know who you are. The Comptroller of Inland Revenue, the head of the Central Purchasing Unit, the Commissioner of Police, the Deputy Commissioner, as well as the Assistant Commissioner, the Director of Public Works, the head of the Citizenship by Investment Unit, the Accountant General, the Comptroller of Customs, the Deputy Comptroller, as well as ambassadors, high commissioners. It also speaks to chairpersons, deputy chairpersons, managing directors, chief executive officers, and general managers of corporations. And this is corporations established by an act of parliament for a public purpose or as a subsidiary company of that corporation. And those corporations are the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, Social Security Board, the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency, the Financial Services Regulatory Commission, Medical Cannabis Authority, the National Disaster Management Agency, National Housing Corporation, the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Whitegate Development Corporation, Frigate Bay Development Corporation, the St. Christopher A. and Seaports Authority, the St. Christopher Tourism Authority, or St. Kitts Tourism Authority, the St. Christopher Nevis Solid Waste Management Corporation, the National Handicraft and Cottage Industries Development Board. Wow, some of these entities I didn't even know existed. The Agricultural Land Development Authority, National Carnival Committee, St. Christopher National Trust, Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority, Nevis Air and Seaports Authority, Nevis Cultural Development Foundation, the Nevis Electricity Company Limited, the Nevis Tourism Authority, and the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation. It also speaks to a bank or corporation owned by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis or in which the government of St. Christopher Nevis has a controlling interest, including but not limited to the St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, Urban Development Corporation, St. Kitts Electricity Company Limited, the St. Kitts Nevis Cable Communications Limited, La Valley Greens Limited, and a commission, a statutory board, or a public authority, whether its members are paid or unpaid. And so these are the public officials who are entitled, or not entitled is the word, who must file their declarations with the Integrity Commission, and this is the enforcement of the Integrity in Public Life Act. For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I am Devonne Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining me on the program for today. And if you're late, we are speaking on the enforcement of the Integrity in Public Life Act. And this is a release from the Director, or the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Of course, open the phone lines and get your... Let's have a conversation on this, and I'll share more information from the piece of document or paper or papers that I have in front of me. Let's take this break and we'll be right back.
See me soar in 2024. Be seen wearing the best and latest styles in eyewear from Quartz Optical. Buy one frame and get a second pair for free. Mix and match with your favorite brands, a variety of colors and fresh new styles. Buy one frame and get a second pair absolutely free. Shop today with no cash and pay later. Schedule your free eye exam today at quartzoptical.com. Soar into 2024 with BOGO. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. Offer valid until January 31st, 2024. See in store for details.
Reach for DPH Cough and Cold for all your cold and flu symptoms, relief, rest, and ready again. Also available in children's formulation.
Welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. You're listening to The Edge. I am Devonne, Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining. It is 11:21. Today is Friday. You know, I like whenever Friday comes. It's the end of the week, an opportunity for you to relax after working a hard week. And whether you work in the hospitality industry, shout out to the people in the hospitality industry. I worked there for a very short stint. And so I understand some of the good times and bad times that you have. Shout out to the people in the construction sector, people working in that hot sun. Boy, I could recall working with my dad in that field, whether we're working on a project, we're doing some work at a house, or we're building something for somebody. And I'm telling you, it ain't easy working construction, eh? I know it is to lift blocks and bust up my fingernail them with a hammer and thing drop on your toe and you reach home after 4 the afternoon, but you're tired like a dog. All you could do is wash your skin and go in your bed. But maybe eat something. And so I want to give a special shout out to our hard-working people in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially in those sectors, tourism, hospitality, and the construction sector. Thank you for the hard work that you do, and you continue to make a difference here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But today we are talking about the Integrity in Public Life Act, and specifically a release that came from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and it is the enforcement of the Integrity in Public Life Act. I want to share with you further that it says, notwithstanding, and I'm quoting again, notwithstanding that our office is in the process of filing charges, it is still possible to escape prosecution if the Commission receives your completed declaration before the 26th of January 2024. For ease of reference, the requisite declaration may be downloaded from iplskn.com. It is worthy of note that the initial deadline for filing, 31st July 2023, has long passed, with the next filing date of April 30th, 2024 fast approaching. The Integrity Commission has already warned applicable public officials that if public officials fail to file by 1st December 2023, that they would consider handing over names to the Director of Public Prosecutions for action. On the 8th of December 2023, yes, that was it, as part of a press conference to commemorate Anti-Corruption Day, as Director of Public Prosecutions, I promised action against defaulters in no uncertain terms, and that it was just a matter of waiting for the list from the Commission. I have now received that list. There will be no further warning. All of these opportunities for compliance have been made to demonstrate to the court that every effort has been made to reach out to defaulters to comply. Charges, once finalized and filed, will carry the full weight of the Act, with potential fines of up to $30,000 or imprisonment for up to 3 years. And again, the DPP is making one final appeal for people or public officials to file. It's 11:25. We'll open the phone lines now and we begin taking your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Those are the numbers that you call to participate in the discussion for today. We'll take our first call. Caller, good morning and welcome to the program.
You sure you thank God today's Friday?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
How could you punch your finger in when you're trying to break a piece of black and the black's so big and your fingers are small? you were focusing on your finger? Well, anyway, glad you got your 10 fingers. Devonne, I am so happy and glad that this Integrity in Public Life Act is coming forward now to fruition, because that should have been done many years ago. And if that was done many years ago, some people in big public life, big government offices, and all those offices and places that you call out where people are working, some of them wouldn't even have as much as a half a hog head, because they will have to declare that as an asset. Never mind some of them who got 13, 15, and 18 properties like houses. They will have to declare now to the DPP how you come by them 18, 21 houses. And that's going to cause a lot of falling out. Because what happens now, old people say, you only see foul bottom when wind blow. So this public integrity public life act is like a tornado and a hurricane blowing in St. Kitts right now. So all kind of niggas are going to be running up and down, go put people to front their assets, what they got, so they could get away from it. So I'm glad he come. Now, you know what happened? Let me do a little diversion of the crime in St. Kitts, because that is like a national behavior. You know, the only penalty that me radical culture think could make those people who believe because they got a weapon, whether it's a fish gun, a water gun, a Tech 9, I'll give a 10, or whatever gun. Because they got that, they believe they could shoot people who thief the tree, or thief the fowl, they got whatever. No, don't kill a man because he thief. If you and a man in a bacchanal fight, and you hit him on the box and he fall down, and he dead, well, you know you kill him. So are you fighting and you leg back and he leg back. But the only thing I think now could make them back off, if you give them the treatment of the 3 Hebrew boys in the Bible. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, throw them in the furnace alive. They ain't going to go in there. Just let them know that is the punishment, because we hang people, and that ain't it to some of them, and they give them injection and shock them, and a lot of them still killing. Say, look, you're going in the furnace, the fiery furnace in there alive. I bet you say they stop it. Anyway, thank you, Devonne.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. Do we have any more callers? All right, the phone lines are still open, and we're taking your calls 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. You're listening to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. If you're just joining, we are on the topic of the enforcement of the Integrity in Public Life Act. This is a serious conversation that we are having, and a topic that you don't usually hear talked about very much. And, you know, when you're having a conversation with a friend, and especially when you're talking about anything to do with people who hold public office, we like to say that we want integrity in public life. We like to say that we believe in justice, and we believe in fairness, and we believe in a corruption-free nation, right? We like to say all the good things, the things that sound good, the things that look good, right? But what are we willing to do, or what are we doing to ensure that there is justice, that there is fairness for all? Let's head back to the phone lines. We take this call. We lost that one. Let's take this one. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Host.
Yes. Good morning.
Yes, I listened to you quoting the DPP, and the DPP almost sound like a verse in the Bible spoken by Jesus. He is not willing that any should be prosecuted. But you almost sound like Jesus. But my advice to those, from a biblical standpoint, to obey is better than sacrifice. Now, speaking about integrity in public life, recently you had an investigation done in Ukraine. Ukraine getting aid in regards to the war from quite a number of donors, European Union, America. And Ukraine want to join the European Union. But Ukraine have a reputation in regards to corruption. So what the European Union membership stated to Ukraine is that they have to make laws. They got to combat the reputation for corruption if they want to join.
Right.
And an investigation was done, Mr. Host. And the investigation just completed. And the $200 and something million, is found missing, cannot be accounted for. I mean, you hear these amount of billions of dollars. There is a war. Countries are coming to your rescue. You're asking for help, weapons, and those entrusted in regards to the finances are stealing. So right now, President Zelensky, he now got to go and bring those people to justice. They want to join the European Union, so they have to show transparency and accountability. So we are not a lesser people down here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We are not lesser. But as I said already, corruption and violence is the end time sign. Mr. Host,
yes,
really and truly, we have the government and many other governments willing to bring their workers in line in regards to inflation. But, sad to say, the way how this world turning and twisting, it seems, it would appear that no matter what government does in regards to bringing down inflation and ease the pain and suffering of their people, wars, violence, natural disaster, man-made disaster, climate change, is making it difficult. And all of these are signs of the time. The Bible is right here. So you have now the ships taking that route around Africa. And they tell you 50% of the world trade supply come through that little route. The Suez Canal, the Red Sea.
All right.
And so, looking now at the picture, the world economic climate, already in bad shape, would be worse off. Sad to say, as the Bible says, if only in this life we only had hope, we would be both, like most men, miserable. These wars are making people like miserable. But thanks be unto God, the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ, give us the assurance, let not our heart be troubled. He's coming, and he's coming soon. Thank you very much. Prepare.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution to the program. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls. at 465-2555. You have a caller? All right. The phone lines are open. Let's take your calls. For those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I am Devonne Cornelius. Thank you so much for the contributions made so far. It is just 11:35. We break at noon for the ZIZ midday. We end at noon, sorry, for the ZIZ midday newscast. Let's take this call.
Morning.
Caller, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Welcome to the program, Devon.
Yes.
I'm very proud of the law. My name is James Davis. I'm very proud of the law that's happening right now and the hospitality of the knowledge of the technology. But then, Devon, you're speaking to somebody who is a walking dead. His name is Brother Bumpy, and so forth. A doctor have cut me down, and different things like this, and plant a chip in me, and so forth. This is international, okay? And things like this. I told him, man, don't cut me down, because I'm a boxer, and different things like this here. And he cut me down, and he leaves some stuff in me. Where certain people were trying to make me hide it all the time, and different things like this here. But now, I got the light out now to the world and the media and so forth. The person is Dr. Wilkerson.
Okay,
and so forth.
Okay, call it. I apologize for that. Let me take this call. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Devon. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing
Did you
good.
cut down the man? Eh?
Caller, go ahead. Make
All
your
of you will conspiracy theory to say what you do to the good man.
Caller, go ahead. Make your point. Let's move on from that.
Wait, before start, what were you talking about?
We're on the topic of the integrity in public life. A release came from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for public officials to make their declarations.
You publish the names now?
And I don't have any names. I have a list of entities.
I think I heard that yesterday.
Or positions. So I was going.
Let me ask you a question while I'm at it. The first time it came out under the former government, they were saying members of the board or executive of political parties. You remember that?
Just exactly about 15-20 minutes ago, I was having that conversation with my colleagues. However, political parties in St. Kitts and Nevis are not registered or legal entities, and so I believe that is why they have not been included in this list. And so it only applies to people who are members of the
board. What about the board members?
Hold on. It only applies to people who are members of the Nevis Island Assembly or the National Assembly. But if you're just a member of a political party, whether you are on the executive or whatever, according to this, and when I say according to this, I'm not seeing
to the amended one,
right? I'm not seeing any reference being made to political parties, and that's.
But what do you think about that? Because they are the ones who do the campaign financing, sourcing it. The executive is through them the money go to the party. You don't think about that?
I think that with this list here, when it references representatives in the National Assembly and the Nevis Island Assembly, I think that is it references these people, right? Because they have an influence on governance in St. Kitts and Nevis. In order for people in political parties to be referenced, they first have to become legal entities, and there is no law to say that they must be registered and become legal entities. I leave it at that.
So that is because they actually took it out of the first schedule.
Okay.
Right? And you could see that. And another thing, a number of our people, elected people, have companies in operation. Some have LLC registered overseas. And until we are able for somebody to check and double check, then we're going to have there have been cases, even here, where elected representatives own properties on rent, and they have been rented under a civil servant name. So there's a lot of fronting that goes on. How are they able to capture and monitor the fronting?
You mean how the office?
The integrity, yes. When you go to file, do they check? Because some of them going around, according to the law, I don't know if that one year. Not only you, but your wife, your spouse, your children above a certain age. Is that still in it?
I am not seeing it here in front of me. I'm not seeing here in front of me. I'm not seeing that.
We'll find out, because that was in the schedule, you know. Because, you know, people put things and put them in the children's name, in the wife's name. You know, that is why Basil Panda went to prison. You know he went to prison?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, it was his wife. Somebody had some kind of transaction or something had come through to his wife, and he didn't report it, and he was sent to prison.
Well, I would want to think that the Integrity Commission will do the investigation, so you could file...
I don't trust them. I'll tell you why. Imagine that the thing is up. The DPP went to the trouble to give extension. And you're going to tell me you give them another extension? Look and see that they're not going to report until July. And the AG must step in, because he is the one who passing these things in the House, proclaiming to the world that we are so, you know, clean and whatever. And you're going to be over a jurisdiction or whatever. And not the DPP is independent, eh? Where you have all of these people who have access to government resources refusing to file. And not only file, you know, I hope people know that they have to be audited. So nobody run around the corner and make up nothing. And the auditors should be registered auditors, not your cousin. And therefore, if they conspire with the person to present false accounts, they should be charged and tried. I mean, where are we going? It follows that none of the parties, none of the governments we have really believe in integrity in public life. We have never been in the position we're in this morning. None of them. And the Prime Minister, let me get to him. Since it was revealed to him, right, that this thing is happening, he, as the Prime Minister, put his foot down. You get a letter and no response. Then you say, look, either respond or resign. Because unless he opens his mouth, he's party to it. ZIZ people, is the manager, right? Because ZIZ in it too. I mean, really, and the political parties must be brought back in. They are the ones sourcing all of these money to hire jet and plane and bring in and whatever.
All right, Carter.
That's corruption.
Thank you for your contribution to the program. It is now 11:43. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation right here on The Edge.
Every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., ZIZ Radio goes into overdrive with the Magic Fingers Ronnie Rascal Mega Mix Show. You heard? Up your dial to 96.1 FM. It's the show that brings the vibes to your Saturday afternoon lime, bar hopping, party hangouts, or just driving around. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. It's old school and new school remixes by yours truly, Magic Fingers, Ronnie Rascal, every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. ZIZ Radio.
Healthwise on ZIZ TV, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Hosted by Dr. Monique Lescott, Dr. Jolette Woodley, and Dr. Patrice Lawrence.
Welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne, Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. For those of you who may have tuned in late, we are on the topic of the Integrity in Public Life Act. Let me share some more details from the letter. It says that the refusal to file statutory declarations of assets and liabilities as mandated by the Integrity in Public Life Act may seem like an isolated act of defiance. However, it is the first insidious crack in the dam of societal order. It establishes the dangerous precedent that laws can be ignored if one deems them personally inconvenient. If public officials sworn to uphold the law can circumvent this vital transparency measure, what message does it send to the wider citizenry? Furthermore, as law becomes selective, so too does trust. The public witnessing public officials cherry-picking which laws to obey justifiably questions the integrity of the entire system. Resentment festers, breeding cynicism and a dangerous disengagement from civic responsibility. Why follow the rules, the public may ask, if those in power do not? And these are legitimate questions, or these are conversations that our people are accustomed to having. The phone is open and we are taking your calls. Call us at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. We want to get your views and opinions on this topic of the Integrity in Public Life Act and this letter from the Director of Public Prosecutions. And so again, for the DPP saying that there will be no further warning, and the charges, once finalized and filed, will carry the full weight of the act with potential fines of up to $30,000 or imprisonment for up to 3 years. And this is a question that I don't have the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What happens if somebody does not file and they are fined $30,000 or imprisonment for up to 3 years? Is it that you don't file and you make up your mind that you're going to pay this $30,000, or you serve 3 years in prison? What happens after that? Do you go back to the position that you once had? Maybe not for all of the positions, because if you are a representative in the assembly, which is, whether it be in St. Kitts, the National Assembly, or the Nevis Island Assembly, I think there is something that speaks to whether you are, if you are charged or there is a criminal offense, you cannot be a member of the parliament. And so I would assume that, based off of that, if you do not file and you are charged and you serve 3 years in prison, that is now on your record. And so you may be put in a situation where you may have to resign. And that will is a whole lot of stuff that I am still reading about and trying to get a better understanding about, of course. And I will be continuing to do that. But yeah, that is my question. For people who decide that they're not going to file, are they saying, well, I'm going to pay the fine, or I'm going to serve out my 3 years and then go up, because serving out 3 years is better than letting the Integrity in Public Life Commission know how many things or businesses I own and how much money I have, and whether I got that money legitimately or whether I got it under the table, you know? And so that is a question, I guess, for the DPP. And I hope that he's listening to the conversation. It is 11:49, just about 10 minutes there before we wrap up the conversation at noon for the ZIZ Midday Newscast. The phone lines are open and we want to hear from you. 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. There was a caller who made mention about, you know, in certain instances, when people get into public office and there is an allegation of missing funds or missing something that belongs to the state. And I've heard too many stories in our Caribbean. We're a small Caribbean nation. We have a caller. I'm going to stick a pin and we take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, second good morning, Devonne. Devonne, let me tell you something, brother. The law is the law, and the mother for the law done dead, and the father for the law ain't born yet. But this kind of bill here, you can see how many people are brothers because of the face. So I am hoping that the DPP is joining on the center lane on the highway. The center marking, not the lane, the center marking. So who going west, go west. And who going east, go east, and the 4 lane going east, and the 4 going west. And I just hope that he do according to what the Bible say. Speak the truth at all times. And preach the gospel. And who it hot, it hot. Don't watch no face. Don't let nobody come around you with no bribe and say, give me a break because I'm in this position. So it can cause a lot of confusion because of a lot of dishonest people who up top doing it, and they want to crucify a man who thief a toffee out of a shop. Thief is thief, and it is wrong. So if you can crucify the little man who thief a toffee mint, and you got your load a garage, roads you are full up of wrongdoings, hang you too. So you can cause problem. A lot of them ain't want to declare what they got. They're hiding them. So I'm glad for that. So, Devon, thank you very much again, brother.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution to the program. It is 11:52. I was making the point that, there are people who... We've heard stories of these types of corruption where things that belong to the state go missing. And then we never hear nothing about it again. We hear about it for a short period of time, and then that's it. Let's head back to the phone lines. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Greetings, my brother. How are you today?
I am doing great. And you?
Father bless the irritated man.
All right.
Is this here for real, brother? This program for real? Hello?
Yes, caller. Go ahead and make your contribution.
Yeah, that is my contribution, because if this program is for real, I'm telling you, enough people in there figuring out how they're going to do this thing, Because this year really needed it, brother. Where's the common man and common woman today? This is the time for them to rise up and give a shout. Because this is where they was left out. Because of the ignorance of other people in high places. They call white collar crime, blue collar crime. Check, brother. Enough man are panic right now. And if it's real, I follow in no panic, If nobody has to follow up on it, I man have to follow up on it. Because a lot of wrongness are going on in this place, Rasta. And people are going bossy with it. So anyway, take care, enjoy yourself, and let this year be prosperous. The lion are walking, brother. The lion walking on the fire blazing. I'm telling you, man, nothing going to go uncovered. Fire blaze the wicked. Have a good day.
Caller, thank you for your contribution to the program, and you have a good day as well. You're listening to the Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I am Devonne Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining. So, I'm saying that you oftentimes hear about these stories of corruption in the Caribbean. You hear it for a short period of time, and after a while, that's it. You hear nothing else. Allegations of things that belong, or resources, money that belong to the state, missing, and we hear about it for a good 2-3 weeks, and then that's it. And I think one of the reasons why that is so is because we live in a small community, and so everybody related. That's your cousin or that's your sister, from your half sister, your half brother, and you don't really want to offend that person, or you're the person singing the choir at church, or the person that's pick up the offering at church, or the person give you a lift last week, and so you ain't really want to offend them because you want to lift next week to go to work. And these things actually happen. These things happen, and so what I gather from the callers is that this should not just be on paper. This should not just be on paper, but it should actually happen. And so the people who are asked, the public officials that are listed, who are asked to make their declarations, should do so. My thing is, if you want to be in public life, you're going to have to make your public declarations. And these are not just simple positions. These are positions of power and positions of people who make decisions in St. Kitts and Nevis, and decisions that affect the livelihoods or the livelihood of our people, right? But it cannot be a case where you're being asked to file and make your declarations, and you decide you're not file none. That's what you're saying. But I'm not file none. I'm not study that day. That should not be, right? And so the DPP appears to be very stern, very serious with this. There will be no further warning, according to him, and charges, once finalized and filed, to carry a full weight of the act, up to $30,000 or imprisonment for up to 3 years, and he's making one final appeal. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. To the last caller, I support him 110%. But we can't rejoice so much yet until we see the deputy keep the word, because they're just settling and they don't keep the word. So we'll have to see that first before we start to rejoice. Thank you.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Just 4 minutes left before we wrap up the conversation in time for the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Let me use this opportunity to say thank you for your contribution to the program. All of the contributions are appreciated. Without you, this would not have been possible. For those of you who just tune in, we were talking about the enforcement of the Integrity in Public Life Act, and this release came from the Director of Public Prosecutions, dated January 11, 2024, and it lists a number of, when I say public officials, I do not have a list of names. So I don't have John Doe and Mary Jane. I do not have that list. What I do have is a list of the positions. And so if you are the speaker, or you are a representative in the House, or you are a director, or you are, a magistrate, a high court registrar, the head of the civil service, if you hold any of those positions, you are required to file. But please, I do not have anybody else or anyone's name here in front of me. All right, so please don't misunderstand me. Somebody messaged me and asked me if their name is on the list. If you hold that position, then I guess it applies to you. But no, I don't have a list of names. I have a list of entities and posts and positions. And so if you're in that post or position, then it applies to you. Thank you so much for joining me on The Edge for today and for this week. It has been an amazing one. And I want to use this opportunity to wish you guys a safe and peaceful weekend. Use the time to spend some time with your family and cherish your loved ones. Do not drink and drive. Do not text and drive. Take your time on the road. Pedestrians, please stop being so ignorant when you're on the government road. Take your time. Look left and right before you cross the street. Y'all take care and see you on Monday, Gospel Life.